Good afternoon. Today we're going to make what's called the retro cane. Now I've seen this done a number of times on YouTube videos and it always turns out differently. And that's mainly because the artist chooses to use different colors than I'm using, or they stack them in different orders. It's a great fun cane to do, and once you have it made, it's a great fun cane to use for various projects, jewelry, etc. Now what you need is you need a small cutter. I'm using the Kemper circular cutter, but you can use a bottle cap, the top to something, anything that will fit the size of the mouth of your extruder. Because these little circles we're going to place into the extruder when we get them ready. Now, if the circle is a little bit too big, we can always roll it out and reduce it a bit, so not to worry a whole lot. So what I've done, I've conditioned a number of pale colors of clay. There's nothing too contrasty about them. And I've got them here ready. And all I'm going to do is cut circles from each color and stack them over here beside me. So I'll do my green. I think I get about 9 of them out of the green. Place them over here with the blue that I started a little while ago. Put this in my recyclable clay and go on to the next color. So now we have a nice purple here. Got 2 at once. This is a little bit of preparation in that you have to condition all of your clay, but it's a great deal of fun to do. So don't let that put you off at all. So we're going to slowly just get our colors ready here. Moving on to the, I guess this is aqua or turquoise. Maybe I can lift this up and leave all my pieces. Oh, I can. That's very nice. All right, here I have a very pale mauve. Didn't really mean to overlap one of them, so I'll probably have to fix that. Choose one or the other, but not both. So just get rid of this. Take this one. I'll get rid of this one since it's not all in one piece. Move on to a new color. Now, when I first did this, they used a lot of black and white, and I just loved the result. But I've decided to try these lighter colors and just see what we're going to get. You can use any kind of colors you want. What I understand is that you can change the pattern of what comes out of your extruder by how many little discs of color you put in a row. Now, you can simply put each color, one color, then another color, then another color until you're all done. Or you can double up on certain colors that you want to be dominant in your piece. So, and also I'm told that whatever color you use at the bottom of your stack, that color becomes the outside edge of your extruded piece. So we'll see if that's true. So let's get these all out. Moving right along. I have lots of leftovers for Natasha's, and I can tell you I've been doing that day and night lately, so I guess I'll be glad to have some more to do. This is a darker purple than the other one. Hopefully it'll create a really nice contrast in the cane. The reason I think they call it a retro cane is because the pattern is somewhat similar to the, I don't know, beatnik days or the hippie days when patterns were loud and bold and bright. And I think that's why they do call it that. But I think a better name might be something else. I'm not sure what. Okay, so I've got my purples. We've got 4 colors left, not to worry. Sorry, I didn't tell you the colors before we started, but honestly, couldn't read the packages. They're so small. So we'll just, and anyway, you are to use the colors that you want to use. That's the best thing you possibly could do. So okay, just a couple more and we're all set. Take this nice icy pale pink. And lastly, I have white pearl. I think white would be fine too, but I happen to have the pearl and decided I would go ahead and see how it works. All right, so all of our little pieces are cut out, and our next job is simply to make some stacks of them. Now I'm going to start with a white pearl, choose a purple, and this is very random. A purple, a beige, a pink, violet, go for the green, go for the pink again. There's no reason you can't use one color more than once. Go for the pale blue. I've got some light green over here. In fact, I'll put two together. I wonder what that'll give us. Put blue, purple, a lighter blue, beige, another of the pearl, another of the beige, another of the hot pink, another purple, another hot pink, another pale blue. I'll call that a stack. So just set that aside for a moment, all right? You can take a look and see. I'll just set that down here, and I'll go ahead and make another stack because we probably will run 4 stacks through the pasta machine in order to get enough of the little shapes that we need to put them together to make a really good cane. And I'll show you how that works in just a second. So I'm just putting these colors together, sort of willy-nilly, but based on how I like them to look. If they're not perfect, don't worry. We can always roll this out and smooth it up and get it looking a whole lot better. All right, so I've got a second stack. It's about the same length as my first. Go again. Another purple over here. We've got a double purple, blue, beige, blue, aqua, and green. Another blue and another pale blue, violet and aqua, hot pink and purple and beige, and another pearl, another beige, and another green. I think that's a good stack. And this should be my last stack, I think. I think 4 stacks will give you enough extrusions that you will be able to make a really good cane. Now, if you've had trouble in the past with your extruder, it's a really good idea to clean it out properly with baby oil. Another good idea is to buy a vise. A vise is only $5. Looks like this. I can show you. And it clamps to the table from the bottom here. This undoes, just like your pasta machine, clamps to the table, and this separates enough to hold your vise. And then it's so easy to just turn your vise and get your colors out. So I recommend that you go on Alibaba.com, no, AliExpress.com, and check out these $5 vices because they are a godsend when it comes to making canes. I'm almost done here. Looks to me like I'm going to have one more row. I can live with that. If you guys can be patient enough to wait for me. I know this seems like an awful lot of preparation, but believe me, it is worth it. I first did this cane. I was so excited with the result that I couldn't get enough of it. And I hope that you'll feel that way too. So I've got most of my pieces used up, not quite all, but I'll take a few more and add them somewhere else. Another one there, another one there, there, got two purples and two blues. Okay. So it turns out I have 5 rolls, and I actually have a roll that I rolled out earlier when I was getting ahead of myself, but I'll show you what I do now. Just put those aside. I'm just going to compress it in, sort of squeeze it in, and give it a roll. Compress it, squeeze it, roll it. Now, that will distort those little discs, but it's not important. What is important is the order that you put them in and the fact that this has got to be skinny enough to slide into your extruder easily. All right, so I'll get it just a little bit thinner because the extruder will fatten it up again. I'll do the same with my other pieces. Just smooth them out, get them rounded, and long enough and thin enough that they can go in. Can imagine what this would look like in black and gold and white, or with some of the coppers and silvers. I think it would be outstanding. I've also done one of these in white, black, red, and brilliant green for Christmas and made Christmas canes. And there's all kinds of things you can do with this. Just you have to let your imagination go and see what your result is. Now, you may think, what is going to happen here? Well, when I put this through the extruder, I'm going to use a square head. And if I show you very close, what comes out is a square that has the colors inside it, and they show differently each time. Do you see? See how this one has pink surrounding aqua, surrounding the very light white. This one, let's see what the other side looks like. This one, pink and aqua, gray. This one's aqua, gray, aqua. Other side's kind of the same. But when you put these little bits together to make a cane, usually a minimum of 3 across and 3 high, so that would be 9 of them, you get a block that makes wonderful canes for slicing and decorating things. So I'll set that down for a second. I'm going to go over to my extruder and I'm going to extrude this out and show you what we do with it. Just be off camera for a second here, I think. Push it in. Hopefully you got it thin enough that it will fit. Make sure your head's in there, your square head. Although, excuse me, you could use a round head too. Now, my hands are free because I'm just twisting the end of my extruder fast, fast, fast. I'm whizzing it around with my fingers because my vise is held in, my extruder is held in place. Nothing to hold on to, nothing to strain my hands because of the little vise. So it's a great tool to add to your repertoire, especially for under $5. When I get this extruded all the way, you'll see that I have probably enough for 3 strips, 6 inches long each. And so if I do 3 times this amount, I'll have enough to do my entire cane. So I'm at the end here, and I'm back here with you. And you can see I have a long cane. Starts sort of white, and it's got mauve, and it's got different colors on the outside. And it will have different colors on the inside. So I'm going to bring it right up to the end here, trim it off. Make it 6 inches long. There's one. 6 inches long. There's 2. 6 inches long. There's 3 and I have a piece left over. Now I'm going to place these 3 pieces right on my desk where I'm going to work, exactly beside each other. And I'm actually going to reduce them a little bit when I get the top 2 rows on, right? So right now it's only 1/3 high and 3/3 across, but that's fine. So take my next roll, go over here, undo my extruder, unwind it so that I can put the new roll in, and you will see what I get. So we're putting this in and it's fitting just perfectly. Okay. If any of you are watching and thinking, gee, it takes me a lot longer than that to extrude, you'll be surprised and probably delighted to realize that you can do things so much easier. If your machine has been cleaned up with a little bit of baby oil, it will flow nicer. And if you have the vise to use to help you along, you won't believe the difference it makes. So I'm coming right along here to the end. I'm going to pop this right off. Turn it over here. And I need 3 more links, exactly that length. 1, 2, and my third one is going to be a little bit short. So I will put 1 on top, and the second one on top, and the third one. Well, fortunately, I have a few done ahead of time over here, so I'll take a third one, so I have a third one on top. In fact, I have a few expressed earlier, so I can take 3 more if I want to. Place them up on top. You seeing this exactly? Place them together, press them, turn it, press it. You want these little 9 square extrusions to kind of hold on to each other and stay in place. You might even want to use your roller to give it a little roll. I'll just set these aside since we've got this going already. Turn it and roll it. Turn it and roll it. Turn it once more and roll it. There's no reason really to reduce the cane, but there is a good reason to cut it off at the end, and that's so that we can see the beauty in the pieces that are inside. Okay, so that's our retro cane. Now, if I put some pieces together, I can show you some of the things that we could do with it. You just set it this way on the sheet, and I can cut little pieces. Okay, I've cut 9. Now I can turn and place them. I don't have to put them all with the same orientation if I want to get a different pattern or different look to the little bitty pieces of cane. So I place it together. This is a wonderful technique to use if you're covering a box or if you're just making a piece of jewelry. Just set the cane aside there and just give this a light roll to make sure they stick. And I like to use my little coffee tamper I use all the time with a butcher block piece of paper, and I just gently rub on the top. Now, this is something that you order from Amazon. Again, it's a $5 tool, but it smooths everything, and it's a wonderful addition to your studio. You can, of course, use your fingers too, but I find even with my fingers, I get just a little bit of indentation, whereas with the coffee tamper, I just don't. They all stay together exactly the way I want them to, and I like that very much. All right, so we've got a really nice cane here. I'll just turn it over, make sure it's well sealed on the other side. I could lay this on a backing, and then I could cut it out with a cookie cutter. Well, this is kind of a small one. I think I should not waste the size because it's a very nice cane. So here we go. Here's a nice one of my very favorite cutters is this kind of fan cane. If I place it on here just right, I think I can get the whole thing in. So before I do that, I'll go back to my little box where my plastic was, or my my parchment paper, and I'll take a sheet of plastic and place it right there over so that it will hold it in place. And when I do press down, I'll get a nice beveled or rounded edge. And I like that so much better. When I lift the plastic off, I may have to go back with the cutter just to be sure I got all the way down to the bottom. You don't like too much waste with this because it was a lot of work to make. However, a little bit of waste is always going to happen. But it's a beautiful cane to try. And it has many, many, many uses. You can smooth this down, put a brooch back on it or a pendant on it. I like pendants a lot, but I do some brooches too, and it makes for a wonderful design. If I hold that up really, really close, you can see the way the patterns are. If I hold up the leftover piece of cane, the big piece, you can see how that is. Now I could cut this too into 1-inch pieces and put them together, and I'd have a bigger cane to use and make it a little bit easier on myself. But this is the retro cane. Lots of fun to do. Roll out your different colors of clay, cut them with a little Kemper tool or a bottle cap or something, layer them into your extruder, extrude them out, take your pieces, piece by piece, got a bunch of pieces here, take all your pieces and lay them side by side. You could do just 4 if you wanted to make a small one. You could do 6, you could do 9, whatever you want to do, and make yourself a wonderful retro cane. And that's it for today. Happy Sunday. Thanks, bye.